It's because of you we are always here to bring you, you know, some educative programs like ours, the Legal Hour. And last week, Thursday, we were talking about, you know, uh, some simple things that are happening always at the court, like this thing that has to do with the, you know, persistent on support. A lot of you were listening that day, a lot of you were watching, and today we have another fresh edition. Like I told you always, we always invite experts, lawyers, right? And then we invite autonomous agency, government agency to come and educate you because it's solely for education. Because these people provide information for us to us that we don't know, and we are learning, they are teaching us, and things that we don't know. Sometimes, we don't have the clarity on. So sometimes we have lawyers who will select specific topic, they will come and educate us on it. And then we will have, sometimes we have people from institutions that are providing services for the public. They will come and enlighten or educate us or tell us specifically what they are doing, what the public needs to know, and things like that. So today is no exception. We have a fresh edition, and we have, the same thing. We have the same thing. We have someone from somewhere, someone very important as well, like others. And I think for me, this will be the first time I'm hosting him. But we will take a short break. When we come back, we will tell you exactly we will be having here this morning on our platform.
Massa Kanneh-Telleh and her team of legal minds to enlighten your understanding about the law. The Legal Hour, your one-stop point education program, only on OKFM 99.5 megahertz. OKFM.
Welcome back to those of you watching us via Facebook, and then those that are listening via Radio Land. I want to say welcome back to Legal Hour, on our program, educative program, void of politics. Okay, we don't talk politics here. We want you to learn, we want you to understand some things that are happening at our institution, some legal topics that you have doubt about. We have people here to talk to you about and educate you about it. This is what we do here. And today we are fortunate also to have somebody very important person as well, from the Liberia Land Authority. He will be our guest. He will sit in with us this morning, and we'll be talking a lot of things concerning the LLA, the Liberian Land Authority. As you all know, we've had them here before. Talking to us. We had them. They talked to us about the LLA, the Liberian Land Authority. So today is gonna be really exceptional because we're gonna have the main man, the main boss. He will be sitting in here with us on Legal Hour, and he will be telling us what the institution is doing, what everybody is involved with, So it's quite fascinating, and you will have the time to interact. You will have the time to talk to him this morning on our program. LLA is a very important or cardinal. It plays a cardinal role. It plays a cardinal role in our society, because always I will say this. I said since the Civil War, we got out of the Civil War. The next war, if care is not taken, will be the land war, and we don't pray for that. So this body was enacted in 2016 October to the legislature, and they have tax to play. They are there to mitigate some of these things, right? That could, cause chaos, land chaos, or confusion. They were formulated to deal with some of these things. Perus provide policies to government, advise government also to deal with some of those, things. So this morning, I would like to welcome the chairman of the Liberal Land Authority, uh, Chairman Samuel Pacquiao. He's our guest. I hope I got the name right. Samuel Pacquiao. Okay. It's an honor to have you. Since your ascendancy over there, this is my first time having you here, and OKFM is blessed to have you. Welcome to OKFM.
Thank you very much, Massa. I appreciate the invite, and I'm so glad that I'm here this morning to talk on issues concerning the land sector.
It's an honor. So, with your team have been here some times ago. We've been discussing some of the things you're involved with. And before I proceed, right, they have a website, they have a Facebook page. When you go on Google as well, when you type Liberian Land Authority, their page will pop up. There are certain information that you can find there. And maybe we might not talk about here. We've discussed some of them before, what they're involved with, things like that. So, Mr. Chairman, we don't want to waste time because we want the public to interact with you on this program. What do we need to know about you? There are people that have not met you before, you know, and listening to your voice, viewing you via our Facebook page. What can they know about you before we proceed?
Well, first of all, my name is Samir F. Bakio. I'm a Liberian. I have lived long enough. I don't want to be specific about my age. I'm a Christian. I'm married. I have kids.
No vacancy.
No vacancy. And also now, as you can see, my appearance here is based on the fact that I am the chairman of the Liberal Land Authority. So I do assume a lot of responsibility, particularly when it comes to these matters that relate to land. As you said initially, land is everybody's business, and land matters are very key. If we are not focused and pay key attention to land issues in this country, it might lead us to another uprising, which of course I pray not. So this is who I am, and that's it. What you see, what you get.
Thank you. So that's it there. You've heard him. You've heard from himself, because I didn't want to say it. I wanted it to come from the horse's mouth, and you've heard it. And you've been on a tour lately. I heard about it that you went on a tour, country tour, and that you have some things happening, new guidelines, policy guidelines that the public needs to know, because the public needs to know. They need to be informed about your activities, because they say what ignorance is what.
No excuse.
No excuse.
Yes, correct.
And ignorance to the law is no exception.
Correct.
So, the public out there, and I also want us to use the simplest words or terms that even a market woman outside there can understand what you're doing and what you are saying to them on a land matter.
I would try to be very much simple, if I can. But first, let me just let the public know that the Liberal Land Authority has been given the broad statutory mandate, which includes, among others, the development of land policies and the implementation of land-related programs, as well as elaborate functions and powers covering land governance and land administration, tying in the land management. So it is a responsibility given to us to make sure that land governance in this country is exercised in a very transparent, efficient manner. And this is why I try to let my staff, the team at the Liberal Land Authority, the family of Liberal Land Authority, to be very professional, very key, and in delivering the services of land. Yes, it is true. A few months ago, we took a tour in the southeast counties, purposely to engage with local stakeholders in those counties to acquaint them with the mandates of the Liberia Land Authority. And those mandates cannot be executed alone by the Liberia Land Authority in the absence of local stakeholders.
And who are those stakeholders, if the public should know?
Well, we're talking about like the superintendent of the county, the city mayors, the parliament chiefs, down to the traditional people. They are involved with their people, and we cannot go into those communities to exercise or execute national mandate with the without the presence and participation of the local community. So that tour went extremely well. We engaged them, and they also pledged their support to the Liberia Land Authority in those counties. Mind you, we do have local offices in those counties.
I heard you in 6 counties, right?
Exactly, 6 counties, and those counties include. We started with Nimba County, we went to Grand Jide, then River G, Maryland, Sino, and Grand Cru. So the response from those counties was very positive, and we are looking forward to make sure that the mandates will be delivered and our people will be very much engaged. It is a participatory activities. We're not going to leave anyone behind, and I'm glad that your station have invited us here. So what I'm doing here and what you guys have extended to us is a participatory measure too. So I appreciate the management of OKFM.
You're welcome. So let's talk about what is this mandate or policy guideline that you're spreading across the counties, the area you took the tour. What is the message, or what is the guideline about, the policy about? Break it down so that we all can understand. Even I was sitting here, please.
You see, we should have the mindset that land is everyone's business.
Okay.
Some of the key issues that we have had in the past and we continue to have, if we don't engage the media to help us disseminate the information about land, we run into trouble. Simple issues that we've been having was when you look at the local authorities engaging with our local county offices, you see that there is always a little bit of conflict when it comes to what we used to call squatters' right issuance. It's very key. The city management, the local management thinks and believes strongly that that mandate is giving them, they have the right to issue occupancy permit, which we used to call squatters' right.
Squatters.
But that occupancy permit and the activities that involve into that involve land. And the mandate that is given the Liberia Land Authority that all land functions, including administration, land uses, and the rest of it, belongs to the Liberia Land Authority. So we try to develop simple guidelines relating to the act that was created, appointed LLA to be responsible for all land management to them. So we are working on that, and thank God also with the collaboration effort between the Liberia Land Authority and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, which is now called again Ministry of Local Government. We had a preliminary discussion just this week for us to invite our county land office administrators and also the city mayors around the country within the 15 counties, just for us to have that clarity. Then the next thing we did was we developed the interim guidelines for the sales and lease of public lands. That also is something that we have to make the public to understand that there are land out there belonging to the government, to the public, but how to acquire a parcel of land, you have to come to the Liberia Land Authority. We did simplify that, and we developed regulations or guidelines for that. Then the next one is the validation of tribal certificate. We develop a guidelines on that. There are many of our traditional people, customary community people do have traditional certificate called the travel
Travel
certificate.
certificates.
So for us to transform that into a regular D, we develop a guideline how we can go by doing that. So the tour that we took mainly incorporated those guidelines, and also to see how we can collaborate with the local authority.
Well, if you are listening, this is OKFM 99.5 megahertz. My name is Massa Kanneh, and I have the chairman of the Liberal Land Authority, Chairman Samuel
Back you.
Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Chairman Pacquiao is here, and we are discussing land matter. Recently, they've been doing some, formulation. They've been providing some, information out there in the community pertaining land business. But you and I are here. We were not there. Some of us were not there. So it was important. We called him to come and share the platform with us this morning. Tell us exactly some of the things they are about to, implement, or what they're working on. And I will also be asking him about some, this is important, right? The public needs to be educated, and this is the next question I really want you to tackle. Are there land that are not supposed to be used, or that are not supposed to be touched out there? Are there areas, land that nobody should occupy? Because I've seen this, they have some areas, even swamp area, people are building, and even mango swamp people are using these facilities. So are there specific guidelines that you're able to provide to the public that, hey, you cannot construct here, you cannot live here, this is not for, people to live?
Massa, this is my 8th month as chairman of the Liberian Land Authority. Nevertheless, I am not a stranger to the Land Authority. Within these 8 months, the Department of Land Use and Management has developed a regulation, and the regulation has gone through the vetting process. And what is left now for us to finalize on that regulation is the Board of Commissioners approval, which will happen probably in the next week or two. Those regulations directly and specifically talks about those areas that you just pointed out, wetlands. No construction should be allowed in wetlands. I mean, those are areas that are purposely, or they were created by nature for what we call the water catchment. And if you flood those areas through these illegal settlement, it's going to create environmental issues in our communities. And people are just doing all of these things now because maybe for the fact that they are taking advantage. We are challenged. The entity is challenged for the fact that we do not have the task force yet. We do not have the required logistical items that we need to make sure that we implement the enforcement of those violators. But, it is struggling for the fact that we live in a society where we tend to disrespect the authority. But under my watch, and I'm sure, and I'm very thankful to His Excellency, this administration, they are paying key attention, and they are listening to our plot and our call at the Liberal Land Authority. We're going to get that support. We're going to establish the task force, and we will go vigorously on those violators that are constructing in those lowland and wetland areas.
We have other institutions like the EPA. We have the Public Works. How are you collaborating? Are there times where you come together to do stuff, or there are a specific role ascribed to them that you cannot do?
I think,
and when it comes to land issue,
I think it has been overly emphasized that the key thing, or in order for us to accomplish any of these things that I had mentioned here, we need full collaboration with other relevant entities. I am in, or my entity is in close contact with EPA, likewise the Ministry of Public Works and other relevant agencies, as you may think of maybe the mines and energy and the archive, because those were areas that had land functions before Ministry of Local Government, which we all know as MIA. But yes, indeed, we are collaborating.
That's good enough because there are, people are concerned about zoning, but because for me, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not abreast with land issue, so they want to know the zoning area. But my mind went on the public works, whether it's their area when it comes to zoning, or you also have oversight on it when it comes to the zoning aspect. Most especially, but I think that should be like public works thing. But you are not also new to the land usage and other thing. The people go and just even alley and other thing. But like you said, you're working on it, and few days from now, the board could, approve that, which would be good because. It's kind of complicated. You go anywhere, the flood is happening everywhere because of the same policy you are trying to work on, and that will at least I think it will help to mitigate some of these things, especially. And then let's go back to the purpose of your visit to the county, right? The tribal land, something. What specific thing that have changed on the tribal land D issue, or what the public needs to know about the tribal land, something?
Well, according to the act that was created and that brought the Liberia Land Authority to life, says that upon taking over or the existence of the authority, within 24 months, any citizen that have tribal certificate within the 24-month period, you must transform that into a legitimate deed. Yes, there are some hinges on that. We have not met the full requirement of that yet because of the awareness situation and the rest of these other nitty-gritty things that is needed for us to accomplish that. Nevertheless, we are not derailed from that fact. But let me just say this here. We have been challenged and facing issues of these that come into our entity that needed some verification and authentication. We have realized that people are developing deeds that are not real. For this reason, the Liberia Land Authority has come with a new form deed that carry security features now. We have launched that. However, we have not disseminated those Form Ds in the various 15 counties yet. We are waiting for the productions of those, and also we are waiting to form of a team that will create the awareness into all the counties and making them to understand that no other deed should be developed or brought to Liberia Land Authority if you do not go through the offices of the land authority in those counties. All those deeds will carry serious numbers and security features on them.
So when you say because this is strange, right? Like how when you say the deeds are not real, what do you mean? Like people like I don't understand. Can you elaborate so that the people understand? Because
correct. I've been saying this and I'm going to say it again. It is unfortunate that we live in a society where you see those kind of illegal activities. In Monrovia, we have caught several of these where we found out that they were not really generated by a legitimate surveyor, neither approved by the entity. But they surface out there and they have those criminals that are taking land based on those deeds. You can go anywhere and develop a deed. And I don't know whether we also, as entities of government, are doing enough. Because I cannot have a deed that is fraudulent, but when I look at certain government entities, there are records there that shows that. How? So these are some of the things that we are fighting, and this is why we decided to develop these new form deeds that carry security features.
So how are you able to determine, right? What feature do you see on this fake deed, the so-called fake deeds that come to you and you realize they are fake? how are you able to detect
Well,
the fake ones from the actual deeds?
thank God that we have a very good, educated, experienced technicians and surveyors. As a matter of fact, our commissioner, who is heading land administration, he's a doctor and he's a surveyor who was brought up from a lower entity. He went through all of those things, and we are, believe me, we are cooperating and trying to work along with the archive also, because information's coming from there and other places. If we compare those information and the registration number and the volume number, we see discrepancies. Okay, now when you also go into those communities to seek information and history background of the ID, they will not give you any genuine information. So we call parties that are involved to make sure who was the surveyor. You call the name of the surveyor that is there. That surveyor is probably dead. Then also they gave a year that this survey was done and who was the grantor. That information does not match. So apparently maybe they go to World Trade Center and develop that. You know, there are so many things that are happening, and some of them, when you confront them, they cannot prove it. As a result, you see them disappear.
So they did a deal with you and disappear.
Exactly.
So the land becomes.
Exactly.
What happens to the land?
The land will go to the rightful owner, because for you to bring those kind of deeds to me, it means that there is somebody that contesting for that deed, and so, I mean land, and that person is saying this is my land, and you coming in with fraudulent deeds, say this is my land. So we try to do the comparative analysis of it. As a result, you see some of them, they disappear and they are gone.
Okay. Let's touch a little bit on the purchase and sale of, public land. Do you want to explain a bit about how is it done and who can be involved with it? As per your guidelines?
Yeah. Let me just give you a little background again about public land and private government land. In our record, according to the act that we have, we do have 4 categories of land. Private land, government land, public land, and customary land. Okay, if you extract the private land, you extract customary land, you extract government land, then you go to be left with public land. That public land, yes, belongs to the government, but the land that we spell out saying that is government land is a land that government already have structures on. Okay? Now, if a citizen express interest in a parcel of land that we classify as public land, they have to express interest through the local authority, meaning either the city mayor or the the community that they live in. Then you go to either the county and the rest of it. But you have to start with the local authority. You express your interest, the local authority will go and validate it a little bit to their level and saying that yes, there is no one occupying this land, since you have interest in
the public land.
Yeah, the public land. Okay.
An individual can acquire it.
Of course, yes.
For private use?
Yes.
Okay.
You can acquire that. As long as you are a citizen.
Okay.
Okay. The local authority will come there and validate it from their level of point and give you the clearance, yes, so and so. Whatever fees you have to pay to the local authority, they will give you receipt. However, the receipt they're going to give you, the information they're going to give you will be brought to the Liberia Land Authority local office. They will dispatch a team to go and make sure they look at it and they study the land, meaning that if you are to carry any development on our property, it's not going to be an obstruction to the environment, neither to the community or whatsoever setting that they have there. Then they will develop a little map for you, because you have to show the perimeter or the size of the land. Then based on that, you have to pay certain fees through the Land Authority and also the LRA, and then the Liberia Land Authority will grant you, but in collaboration with the local authority, will grant you a certificate that you can occupy that land, and you will certain amount you have to pay. Then from there, it can transcend to a D if necessary. Yeah.
Let's focus a little bit on D that is causing trouble. Even at a court level, you have one person or you have 4 or 5 person, claiming ownership of a D, and then you just said that sometimes there are D that come to your office, they are fake Ds, and then you are able to detect some of these things. And so when it comes to let leave the fake aspect right now, right? When it comes to owning, like people, there are people out there, 2 or 3 person claiming ownership of a particular parcel of land, and then they are in court, and yeah, it might not be the code now, but how can a land authority comes in, especially before they even go to court, when 3, 4, 5 person claiming a parcel of land? How can you come in order to, intervene? And if you should intervene, what can be done?
Well, in our conventional practices, usually when you have a parcel of land and you see 3 or 4 person contesting, claiming the same particular land, what we do is this. We seek and we ask for all the documents that authenticate or authenticating that they are the rightful owners of the parcel of land. We look at the year that you bought this land. We look at the year that you probated this land. We look at the year that you registered this land. After collecting all those documents, we have to definitely do our due diligence now by engaging the relevant entity to validate those documents. And we also may probably have to involve the grantors. If the land is claimed by 4 person, we want to know who are the grantors. Get the history of it. Based on that, the owner's deed, if it is authenticated and say, yeah, it is a rightful deed, we have to call the grantors and they will prove to us that this land belongs to this person. Because there are so many people that comes in claiming land and calling different grantors that have no historical background to that. But there where we notice that there are crimes, involved into this here, criminal aspect is involved into those things. But it's kind of a little bit easy for us to detect.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we've said a lot. We will, be climaxing soon, and then we will have people calling in to ask few questions about what we are discussing. I don't know. This the PSRP. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit. The PSRP, I don't know, is a project that is in 3 of the counties. If you want to elaborate on it a bit, so that, and then we have few challenges before we can open a line for people to call.
Well, it is a project that we are executing, and first of its kind by the Liberian Authority, and is a project that going to help the communities because it deals with property valuation. Is very key, and this program has been also supported by the Capitol Hill, which is the House, the Senate, and the rest of it, and through the conduit of the Ministry of Finance. We are executing this project in 3 counties in selected areas: Massa County, Magibi, and Nimba County. And believe me not, it's going to be first of its kind, and it's going to help the government in collecting taxes because there are so many.
Evaluation.
Yes, exactly.
Are you doing it in collaboration with the Revenue Authority, like Revenue Authority?
Of course, of course. We are working with them. Like I said, none of these things can be done without the lack of collaboration. We're going to work with them. Yeah.
Okay, there you have it. We have the chairperson of the Liberian Land Authority. If you're listening via Radio Land, you're watching us on our Facebook page. He's Chairman Samuel Pakio. We are learning. Even myself that's sitting here, I'm learning, and I'm going to open the phone lines. You put your calls through. What we are discussing is what you're going to talk about. We are not going to talk different thing here. If we got any different thing when we have here another time, we will talk about that one. But today, he's been speaking on the, different things that they are doing at the. He's been there for just 8 months. He's been appointed there for 8 months. For the 8 month period, he's been there. Some of the things they are doing when it comes to policy making, when it comes to community outreach, on the land issue, how best our land can be managed, properly managed. This is what they are doing. 0777700 05555 are the numbers you can call. Ask your question, he will answer them the ones he can, depending on what you ask. 0777700 I think we already have our first caller here on the line. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Massa. This is Councillor Lawrence Thomas.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sirogate. I just want you to emphasize on the explanation about the public land and government land.
Okay.
That's one aspect, and also throw light on the issue of how people acquire travel certificate on a land, on the customary land, and what next after obtaining travel certificate. If any idea, can you please elaborate on that, but also on other things?
Okay, thank you. 0777700 05555 are the numbers you can call. Good morning.
Good morning, Massa.
Yes.
And good morning to the studio there, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. I'm calling you from Innsville. My name is Clark Ezekiel.
Okay.
I listened to the chairman and he spoke well. And I have a few questions, but for the sake, I will just ask two. One, I want you to clearly explain what the law says about squatter rights and what are the processes involved and eligibility in obtaining a squatter right under the Liberal Land Authority. I want two. My last question has to do with this issue of criminal conveyance of land is enforced, meaning selling one land to two or more people. But you realize in Liberia, people have issue with this. You buy land before you realize somebody sell that land to another person. And the people who can survey the land before the sale is done are surveyor who are squarely under the Liberal Land Authority. What is the LLA doing to eliminate such issue? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. He wants to know about the squatter rights and then the criminal conveyance law. He wants to know something about it. 0777700 05555 are the numbers you can call to participate this morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so Larry KJ.
Larry.
I want to know if the Liberal Land Authority carry an investigation on the land, and then how do they run that project?
Okay. All right. He wants to know when they carry on investigation on the land, how do they run a verdict? All right. 0777700 05555 are the numbers you can call to ask or raise your concern. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
My name is Hollis Wilson. I just want to find out that the commissioner mentioned that there are some policies in how to acquire public land and to be sure that these public land are free to obtain. And also he mentioned about travel certificates and there are guidelines in receiving these certificates. My question to him is how do people access these guidelines so that they can be able to read them and get acquainted with the information before going to the LLA? Are they available on their website or on their Facebook page? Where are these information so that the public can be able to access them and read them for their personal use or for information purposes?
Okay, thank you. He wants to know if there are information available about how to obtain travel certificates and other things. 0777700 05555 are the numbers to call and participate on here this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing? Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. My name is Wilson sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm being pushed now to ask the chair, honorable chair, people who stole people land when and manufactured deed and they pass the deed through the processes, through the archive and they register those fixed deeds. If it is possible during investigation, it is land history going to be a component to use because the owner of the land suppose that he has been missing and then they try getting it, they have not reached that point, and now somebody came and stole their land when a manufactured deed. Is land history important in these investigations? Is it going to be used?
Okay. If land history is important in land investigation, 0777700 05555. Let me take this one as well. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes. Can you move away from your monitor?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Monrovia, Monrovia.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a problem concerning the land. My question is that if you bought a land, and if you now construct anything there, but you have your cornerstones and things planted there, the people, then at the end of the day, the same person that you bought the land for, the person passed. And the person, when the person passed, then the person is not having to come to say, oh boy, you said my father bought all the properties and my father sold the people and reselling it. How can we, because it's in my shoe for now, at the marshal belt. And I took the complaint at the Labrador Land Authority over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You took the matter to the land authority. They are taking note to answer your question. And then I think we should take one more and then you just let the commissioner answer those questions. Let me take this one. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah,
Can you walk away from that noise? Move away from the noise.
My question has
Your
been
name
on the
is?
issue of
Hello?
challenges that
Hello?
the Honorable Minister
Hello?
has spoken of.
Hello?
And my question has been
0777700 05555. The last call I'm taking, the other men are listening, so I'm sorry I had to just, cut him off. Good morning. Good morning. You sounding very low.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
Okay.
So always salamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Coming from Banabe Patient, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same problem. I'll call you for.
Ask your question. Ask your
I want to ask the chairman. I'm begging to put after a finish, you must put a number. Now we get a number because of our problem here.
Can you ask your question now, please? Ask your question. We don't have time.
We can tell you, I'm not talking about the fall, but from that day to today.
Can you ask your question, please? I'm gonna.
They call me and go back learn to spell it down. They call me pull it in my D. 4 years later, after I get son in my chest broke my bone, my teeth start boom. After I go to treatment.
So what the issue now? So they took your land?
They tell it to another person. That one now, they hustle the alley. Going to my house, everything my woman, my mama, my children will get embarrassed the whole day.
All right.
So I pin it to the chairman.
Okay.
All
right. Thank you. That's all we have time for right now, Mr. Chairman. There are a lot of concerns. We could spend a whole day here, but we don't have the whole luxury of time to be here. These are concerns from our listeners, our viewers out there. We have you from the Facebook page. I think you are also taking notes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And this is what we initially talked about, the intensity of land matters in the country. We need to be very, very careful, and we need to be very civil about land matters. But the first concern here came from Councillor Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly, where he expressed concern about the difference between the public and government, and also how travel certificate is acquired. Let me just say this first about the travel certificate. There is no more travel certificate now that will be issued. Everything now going to be complete land D, and you have to go through the proper channel through the offices of the Liberia Land Authority in any locality or county. I initially talked about the 4 categories of land, which involve or includes the customary land, the private land, the government land, and the public land. The public land versus the government land. Government land are land that are already in use by the government, and government have structures on them, like the executive mansion ground. That's a government land because we have our structure on it. But minus the government land, minus the private land, minus the customary land, what is left over is the public land, and the public land is for the public, but at the same time managed by the local authority, local government, and the Liberia Land Authority. And if you want to acquire that, start with the local authority first to make sure that that land that you have interest in belongs to no one, and it is in the know of the local authority. Then they will forward whatsoever application that you put in to the Liberia Land Authority. Then the next concern was about the squatters' right and the criminal conveyance. I think that came from one clerk from the Painesville area. Yes, it is true. We have changed the nomenclature of squatters right now to temporary occupancy permit. This is something that government has granted for its citizen. If you don't have a place, or you see a place that you have interest in but it is not yours, government can grant you that opportunity to squat there for a meantime or temporary period. It is government owned. Anytime government can come and evict you from there if there are any future development or near development that comes in. So it is not anything.
For example, the old government hospital right here.
Correct.
I remember that.
Exactly. You can squat there, but whatsoever it is, but anytime, it's just something temporary. And when you are issued what we call now the TOPS, the temporary occupancy permit, it is valid for 1 year. Every year you have to renew it through the appropriate agency or agency that issue you that. Then the next one, I think it came from Wallace. I did not probably get that very clear. Say, how do you resolve issue?
How judgment are made? How you come up with verdict or random judgment after investigating a land matter?
Well, if there is no other way that we can come out after we investigate a matter and come out with the solution or the verdict, we call both parties involved to make sure, and we will demonstrate what makes the other party right and what makes the other party wrong. We do a diagram. All the parties will be involved. And by the way, now most of our investigations are recorded for transparency. We tell the parties that you are here. It's a land issue. It's a sensitive matter. We don't want the authority to be accused. We don't want anyone to be accused saying that they were biased into the investigation. So we installed cameras now in the investigation room, so for everybody to see. Tomorrow, if you have to go to another further higher ups, we have evidence. Things you said, document we collected from you. So let's move to the other one. I think the other concern was how to access those guidelines. Yes, those guidelines, they may not be fully yet on our page, but yes, they are already on the page, on our website page. And we try to create more awareness to the nation, to the public, for the public to be aware of those guidelines, and also tell them how they can acquire copies of those guidelines. Then the other concern talks about people who stole people land and how, and they go and register and
fabricate or manufacture.
Yes, manufacture. And whether in our investigation we do consider the history of the land. Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, especially when we receive informations that are not clear, it is always incumbent upon us to go into the community to acquire the history of that land. And believe me, that process works very well. Going into the communities, acquiring information from those community dwellers that live into those communities. And it has been helping us a lot. Sometimes you go to the archives, sometimes you go to other information places to seek information. You may not get an accurate information. We are not saying that they are not doing their job, but to be honest with you, among the good apples, there are bad apples. And we're taking those into consideration. Okay, the other concern came from the Marshall Belt, that the individual bought land and planted cornerstones, and those cornerstones were uprooted, and the grantor of that land passed, and other people are surfacing saying that the land does not belong to you who bought the land legitimately. Yes, those criminal acts are happening in this country. And it is not only in Marshall. It is all over the country, and particularly surrounding the capital, which is Monrovia. We are challenged with those kind of issues in the White Plains, Louisiana, Caldwell, Johnsonville, and the rest of it. And believe me, we are putting the forces together, we are putting the task force together, and we are putting experienced team together, a team incorporating lawyers. We will go after those criminals. You cannot buy a land, let's say, or you bought a land 50 years ago or 60 years ago, and there was an administrator at that time, or the owner, the original owner passed. Then the grandchildren are coming now after 50 years saying that the 100 acres they bought 50 years ago still exist, and they are fighting and organizing themselves in a criminal den or whatever it is, taking people legitimate property that they bought from their fathers or grandfathers. We are not going to allow that. And thank God we are in contact with the new Chief Justice, and he's working in line with us. We go after anyone who make those kind of false claims and intimidating peaceful citizens of this country. Under my watch, it's not going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But I will definitely focus my attention to those kind of criminal acts and behavior.
Okay. There was a question on our live stream. I think you just tackled that already. People who come with false deeds, and then do you seek their arrest? Or with this one, I think that answers that already. Those
Yes.
that come with false deed. So we're already out of time. So I just want you to use the 1 minute or 2 minutes to, give your parting comment. Probably you can just sum it up with where you need to improve, especially when it comes to challenges.
Well, thank you very much, Massa, for giving us this opportunity to appear on this show. It's an opportunity that we cherish. Yes, indeed, the Liberia Land Authority is greatly challenged with the requisite staff, logistics, and the funding, the money. We need money. Right now, Liberia Land Authority, for us to provide the minimum required services around the country, we need a minimum of 1,300 staff. We are operating with only 300. There is no way we can even meet the minimum required standard with 300 staff around the country. We visited some of our counties in the southeast. We only have those that are fully employed by the entity, 2, 3, 4, and there are so many works that have to be done. Nevertheless, we're not going to give up. We're going to work with what we have. We are appealing to stakeholders, our donors, our own Liberian people, citizens, that we need to be safer, we need to be honest, we need to be transparent. This attitude of criminal behavior, taking land that does not belong to you, can only provoke crimes and also war. We don't want that to happen. I sit here as chairman of the Liberia Land Authority to reinforce the authority commitment to land reform, legal compliance, and citizen engagement. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Liberia Land Authority that please do not doubt the services that have been mandated on us. We'll make sure we do our best with what we have, but we just need the public cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It was great having you here on our platform, and we hope to have you as much as possible to come here and continue educating us, continue talking about the Liberia Land Authority. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. All right. And to our listening public out there, thank you for your listening role. We appreciate the time. We appreciate everything. It's for you. We always here, seated here all the time.